Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome back to another video. Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope you guys have fun. Man, today's video, I want to talk about a recent chess tournament online that I had. Literally, I would say 2.5 hours ago, it ended. And it's amazing because this is my second tournament online that I had prior to the first tournament video that I won. And this video is pretty much how I won the tournament again. I won I won the tournament again. And the crazy part is the person that I had to beat for first place was ranked over 1700. I've never played someone that high before, and I'm a 1400. And you know, immediately when I saw that he was 1700, I knew, because I knew that he would, because I think he was the highest rating person in the tournament, and we both won all our games. So to go head to head with him, I just thought, man, I'm not gonna lie, there was a negative feeling at first of like, damn, he's high rated, and you feel this feeling of I might lose. You know what I'm saying? And the percentage of you losing is most likely. But I found myself realizing that I still have a chance to win. So I took the negativity out and just said, you know what? I just gotta play perfect. I know my game. I just gotta try. Obviously, there's an advantage on his side to win because he's higher rated than me, so it's only natural. But I still have a chance to win regardless. You know what I mean? People beat higher rated people all the time. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just play my game and just double check, checks, captures, attacks, and no blunders, no mistakes. So I want to show you guys the game that we had, because I think it's very interesting. All right, so his name was Luke 120, and in this game he was like rated, I think it was like 1712, I think his rating was, and he started off with e4. So immediately I was happy because he played e4. I played e4 as white as well, but I was happy because for black I played the Caro-Kann, so he played right into the opening that I like. So I played the Caro-Kann, and then he goes into the advanced variation, and I'm happy about this because I've seen this hundreds of times. So I played c5. Then this is the usual thing I would see, c3. I brought out the knight. He brought out his knight. I pinned the knight to the queen. He unpinned himself with the bishop. I took d4. Wasn't sure what the order is. We can actually look at the game review. Let's look at the game review. So according to the game review, these are all book moves. Advanced variation. Boom. So according to this, although the knight is a good move, they said that the bishop to e3 was best on his side. But then I played this. This is just natural for me, just trying to get out the bishop as soon as possible. In the Caro-Kann, the light square bishop is kind of weak, so I figured let me just take it out, pin the knight, and then when I have the opportunity, take it. It's something that I'm used to in this opening. But apparently taking was the best move. I don't know. I don't think this was a bad move, but maybe they said that was the best move. Anyways, this happens. I take, he takes. This was interesting because he's attacking my knight plus attacking my bishop. So just to make sure I didn't like blunder, I took, which was the best move. He took back with the queen, and I took. According to this, although that's an excellent move, like e6 is great, but sometimes I'm not sure if excellent is still fine. Excellent is obviously still fine, but he took back. I moved here immediately. Although they said e6 is great, it's still an excellent move to move there. My plan was me moving here. I kind of pinned this bishop to this pawn. Well, not really actually, because the queen. So now I see why this wasn't the best move, because the queen is technically protecting it. And this way the bishop can come out. So I probably should have did this, then bring the queen out. But I thought it was still a good idea just to go there. He was able to bring the queen out. Anyways, I did it anyway, even though he said this was best. A6 was best. Anyways, I played there. He castled, and now that he castled, I'm trying to make sure that I castle my king as well, because my king's in danger. But thanks to the queen being at b6, it wasn't in any immediate danger. He developed. I moved my knight. Then he moved here. Apparently, that's an inaccuracy. Because he gets to take open file, but whatever. I take the bishop. They say it's an inaccuracy, and I probably should use that opportunity to just develop, which makes a lot of sense. But I just wanted to take the bishop and get that bishop out of the way. He moves into position to take my g7. I made sure in castle to put my king in protection. But at this point, I'm like, the fact that the queen is already in line to attack my king, all he needs is to bring his rooks over there. So I was definitely, worried. He brings the rook to protect b2. Then I pin the knight to the rook. And then he moves over. So now immediately I'm thinking he got plans to go here, here, checkmate, with protection of the rook over here. So I'm being very careful and cautious. I moved here because I wanted to be able to at least get some type of advantage by picking up a pawn. So if I was able to take this knight and he takes back, I would then be able to take the pawn on c3, and then my rook will be in his territory, and then I have an advantage of causing some trouble. But apparently I could have just took. I mean, I don't know. I can look at the line and we can see me going there. Let's look at this line. If I had take back, move, he doubles up. So I would have. I'm still winning, and that was the best moves. But then he doubles up here. He's positioning. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen. But I didn't do that. I ended up doing this. He moved over. I did this. And then he went here because he didn't like what was going to happen. But apparently he should have went over there, bringing his rooks to the king side to cause problems, And I guess I could have take, but I wanted to make sure I had the attack. So in this case, he doubled up his rooks over here to stop me from getting this knight and a free pawn. So I was planning to double up as well. But then he did this, and then I was like, you know what? I think I can take right now. So I took, and then I went there because I knew he wasn't going to take with the rook because it would be a bad idea. So I figured this way I force him to go into it, because I didn't want his knight to start moving away like here, and then he starts doing a whole bunch of stuff. Anyways, take, I doubled up, and then he played here, which is a mistake. He's supposed to bring his rooks. He should be focusing, according to this, to bring his rooks over to try to cause some problems, And then here my first instinct was to just take, he takes, I take, he takes, and then I take here. But then because he played here, I thought he had plans of taking, then I take back, and then he comes down and checkmate me here with putting me in checkmate on c8, attacking the king. But I didn't realize that my queen would be in this location. So even if he comes down here, where my queen is over here, and he comes down here, I would just then take the queen, and I'll be okay. But just to not cause any problems, I just decided to take here. And he took back, and then I went into taking the pawn. He took, I took, and he didn't take. He decided to bring the rook over. I'm like, all right. But I see what he was trying to do. His plan was to attack here. So in him moving the rook over, he thought that maybe I would take this pawn because it's free, and then he would go down here, attacking me here, which not only attacks another pawn, it also has this on f7. So the rook will be attacking f7. So if the queen is over here, it will be attacking here, and then my queen and my rook is so far away, it's going to be hard to come back and attack it. So he's looking for my f7 pawn. So in seeing that, I just bring the rook back down, which was the best move, because I didn't want him to come here and cause any conflicts. Then he moves up. I move up here. According to this, I could have went here, but I went up here because I didn't want any problems of like this pawn coming in and messing up my king structure. And this is a good lift where I can come in here, despite the fact that this queen is kind of looking in here right now. But so I did that. He did this. I brought this in. The reason why I did this is because I felt like I still had a winning advantage, which is 0.6. And then if you trade, I just like that position personally. But he didn't want to trade, and he went over here, where he made his first mistake, but I don't think I capitalized on it. I was supposed to go here and then just like double up here, but I felt like he would have just went here anyways. But he went here for a reason too, because he had plans to kind of like go in here. Because he couldn't do it the last time to go here, he just rerouted here to go here, so he can still have this, but supported with the queen that's over here. So I went down. I don't even know why I went down, to be honest. I forgot why I went down. Oh, I think I went down because since he went here, I just thought it would be kind of threatening for him to come in here, put me in check. I move up, and then he gets my rook. You know, but I wasn't thinking that the queen is here, so it would have been fine. So he comes in, and you know, and then I should have took the d4 pawn right here. But instead, I felt fear, and we're both in time trouble. We're under two minutes, and I went down here. This completely makes everything equal from when I was winning 4.4. Here, he takes my pawn, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to move over. And then he moves back because there was nothing. So knowing that there was nothing, I could have easily took this d4 pawn, but I didn't, and I just lost the pawn. So then I moved up. I forgot why I decided to go there specifically. And he moved. I started moving my pawns because I'm like, hey, the least I can do is push these pawns. I have the advantage up there. And in here, he's really trying to have a strategy, you know. So then I move over because my plan here was just to attack the queen. Then he moves away. Then I hit him with a check, which was a bad move because I guess, because what happened is me doing this, what would happen? He would just do this. I would then have to move out of the way, which I'll probably just do a check here. Because let's say I just move out of the way like this, he would just take my pawn and then have advantage on this, and then it's just a mess. But instead, he didn't do that. He actually moved away, probably because of time trouble, and just gave me the rook. And I was like, no freaking way. So now I'm like literally, we're both in time trouble, and I'm close to winning the game. So I'm like, no way. So then he takes the pawn, and I'm over here like, okay, there got to be something that I can do to get checkmate or something that's close, you know. And then I went over here. My plan was he's blocked off here, and all I have to do is come in here and it's checkmate. But then he saw the checkmate, and he went over here. Now this is the crazy part. He went right here, which is a big mistake. My queen is literally seeing his queen, and this is game over. But because we're in time trouble and we're I don't know, we just lost focus. I didn't see it, and I moved over here, which is completely losing because he can just go right here, and it's over. But instead, just like me, he didn't see it either. So when he did that, and I did this, he didn't take my queen. He just went down for check. Because his logic is he gets to check me, and then he gets to protect checkmate at g2. But we're both so in time trouble and not having time to think, we're making these mistakes. And these little mistakes is what makes or break games. Like, I'm mad at myself because me trying to be a better chess player, I need to see queen against queen. Like, this is an easy capture of queen, and the game is literally over if I had just seen the queen. But no, I had to do the hard way. I had to move, and then he's checking me, which in this position, this is a perfect check to win the rook. I was so mad because this is a perfect check. You know, there was nothing else I can do. So I blocked it. and it's a draw right now. But for some reason, when I blocked it, he didn't take the rook. I guess in time trouble, he just took with check. And I'm like, why would you take with check? Just grab my rook and like the game like would have continued. But he didn't grab the rook. He just took with check. And I'm like, perfect. So I took back where I got the pawn back. And now I'm protecting my rook. If you take my rook, I get your queen. And in this case, obviously he can't trade. If you're in a losing position and you're down pieces, never trade. Try your best to keep because you need to have warriors to fight. And if you're down, you don't want to just like trade warriors. So he moved out the way with a check. And I didn't want him to keep checking me because he's trying to get a draw now. You know what I mean? So I moved. He checks me. I move up. He checks me. And then at this point, I didn't want him to keep checking me and trying to get a draw. So I blocked it over here. And then he went here. And then I check him. My logic is just checking him, trying to see if I can get some type of checkmate going here, going in there. I didn't think of just grabbing this free pawn. But I checked him, he moved over here. I checked him over here, he moved here. I didn't even know what to do. I'm like, where's the checkmate? Like I have 53 seconds, he has 35 seconds. Where's the checkmate? Then I check him here, he moves up there. And I'm like, And I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to lose my my queen doing something stupid. So I check him again, he comes back. And then I didn't want to like repeat moves because if 3-move repetition, it's a draw. So I bring my rook down to check him. Then he moved up. And I was like, perfect. Here is my chance to solidify the game. I went to f5, which was the best move. It checks the king over here and attacked the queen. So in this case, he had no choice but to take me. And I take back. And I'm in a completely winning position because I have a rook. And, with 3 pawns. And at this point, it's lost. And then just to gobble up some pawns, I checked him. He moved. I grabbed the pawn. He moved down. I moved up because I didn't want him to take my f5 pawn. And he moved, and practically the game ended with me gobbling up all the pawns. Ended up getting a queen. Check, check, came in, checkmate. And I was just so shook, like, oh my God, did I just beat a 1700 player? Like, that was so crazy. But I felt like, I think I won like 13 points ELO from beating him. I just felt like, should I win more? I feel like I should have won like 20 points ELO for beating a 1700 player. But I was so shocked. I beat the final boss battle, you can say. And I was able to win first place in the tournament, which I didn't honestly think I would come first, given that he's a 1700 player. But maybe I was just good at the Caro-Kann opening really well, and maybe he wasn't too familiar with that opening, and who knows. But given that he's 1700, he's supposed to, because, I don't know. We both played really well, and we both had chances to lose the game, given the fact that I just blundered my queen, and he also blundered his queen first. If he had seen the queen, I don't know what I would have done, but I'm happy I still got the win. It felt so good to beat a high-rated player like that, and I'm hoping to get there soon. 1700, to me, this was a big accomplishment. So this is like, my recap of me beating a 1700 rated player. I had fun playing the game. I felt all the feelings of like what a tournament is like. My hands were sweating. I was taking deep breaths. I was like, oh my God, and then the fact that I was getting a winning position, I was even more focused because I wanted to find a way to beat this guy, and I did. So, I'm still happy, and then I ended up winning the tournament, and it's prize money. So I think I won $56. So that's just amazing because the tournament is $15 to join the tournament, and for coming first, I was 56. Good thing I came first too because 3 or 4 people tied for second, and since they tied for second, they got to share the second place money. So that was crazy. But I'm so happy I was able to win and come first, man. Such a good feeling. But all right, I just want to share this game with you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. If you like chess, this is the place to be. And as you notice, I've been putting more stuff other than chess, just to kind of spice things up and show my interest of who I am and what I like. So I've been doing some movie reviews or TV show, Disney Plus reviews. and so we'll see what else we'll do on the channel. But you guys take care and subscribe. All right.